We know you love us, but the information on our podcast is provided for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional advice of any kind. If you or anyone you know needs professional help, please seek mental health services. Welcome to the Date Podcast, the show for anyone navigating the dating and relationship world. We interview celebrities, talk pop news, discuss dating do's and don'ts, and debate relationship topics. We are available on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Please subscribe and review if you like what you hear. Check out our website, datepodcast.com, for more information. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Now, let's get on with the show.
It's Zorric,
host of the Date Podcast, and we have another very exciting show for you guys today.
We do? Why is that?
Because these guests that we have something in common with one of my favorite Game of Thrones characters.
Tell us.
They are in polyamorous relationship.
Well.
So we have Lindsey.
Hi.
And Jonathan.
Hello.
Yes.
And we're talking about that.
Yeah, we're talking about polyamorous relationships.
Polyamorous relationships.
And we are going to differentiate open relationships too.
Okay, that's great.
Yep.
All right. What do you?
Exciting.
Yeah. What do you have?
Okay, I'm waiting for my music because you like to cut me off all the time.
No.
Okay, so this is like very Game of Thrones heavily related. Okay, there you go. Okay, so Zorric finally hosted his first Game of Thrones watch party this past weekend.
Oh, you're bringing that up.
Yes, I'm going to bring it up. And
do you guys watch Game of Thrones, by the way?
No.
I tried.
Why?
I haven't gone to the good seasons yet.
I think you need to drink and watch at the same time.
Yeah. It's like you like have to have the wine in order to cope. So Zorric hosted, and we came over, and we had a lot of fun. And I felt really bad because I was like realizing that you were hosting this week, and I was like, oh, this is the rough episode. Like, this is like the battle. Like, I don't know who's gonna die. I don't know how we're gonna react. And of course, like, I'll lose it. Like, I was just bawling. I was crying. I was like, I'm in a glass case of emotion.
So bawling and crying, that's an understatement, because she was bawling and crying for like an hour and a half. And all you can hear is her crying, like her heavy breathing. And then I'm just trying to listen. I can't listen because I was sitting right behind you.
I have a lot of feelings.
You do. I'm like, Emma is just way too into this show.
Okay.
You're
heartless one.
You are so into this. I mean, I don't know. But I am the same way. I'm crying when the Cowboys lose at the same time. So,
okay, did you not cheer?
I cry a lot.
Did you not cheer during that amazing scene that we went to and we watched again? Spoiler.
Alert. But yeah, I did cheer. This is the first time I've high-fived somebody in my living room.
Did you high-five Joey?
Yeah, Joey and Sean. And it wasn't a sports match or game. Or
No. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
It was really good, but it was fun hosting. I liked it. I liked the people over.
You're forced hosting.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to take one for the team, right?
You did have to take one for the team, damn it.
But I did. Do you guys host parties, or you guys?
Well, depends what kind of party.
Not too often.
Yeah. Okay.
We go to parties.
Okay.
We go to parties.
But it's a lot to think about. Like, even though they're just coming over, but you still got to get stuff. You got to clean up a little bit. And I just, I was telling Emma, I was like, I like hosting, but just not getting ready.
So
that's the problem.
That sounds like the fun part, though.
So what's funny is that, so I used to have wine parties, like when I lived in my apartment, like close to him. And so I'd always host, and, you know, like there was this one time I needed his help. And so, like, my best friend's leaving because she's moving to San Antonio. Damn it, Shannon.
She's going to start crying right now.
Maybe. And so Zorric was like, are we still having our wine parties? And I'm like, no, my best friend's leaving me. Like, I'm mourning her moving to San Diego. And then Zorric's like, you're going to have them. Like, I'm going to force you. And then I'm seeing his reaction to the Game of Thrones parties where he's like, I had to take one for the team. It's like, all right, these wine parties aren't happening, so I'm kind of okay with it.
No, it's happening.
Okay.
When is it happening?
I I have to plan it?
Yes, you.
Okay.
I'm just gonna show up in my own place.
At your own apartment? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Just give me the key.
Okay, what else?
Okay, so it is got related. Joe Jonas, okay, from the Jonas Brothers, the middle brother, the last one that was like still available, got married to Sophie Turner, who plays Sansa Stark on
So
Game of
freaking
Thrones.
hot, too.
They got married this past week after the Billboard Music Awards in Las Vegas.
Ooh.
He is 29, she is 23, and he is one lucky man because, you know what? Kevin was my first choice this whole time.
Mm-hmm. Is she taller than him?
I think so.
I think so.
Uh-huh.
That's like
They
my
make it
thing
work,
too.
though.
Yeah, but everyone's taller than me, except
me.
Except for
Except for me. Apparently, they're still having a wedding in Europe, though. A lot of people were there. The reason why I found out, I think it was because Diplo posted it on his Instagram. And he had like the story going on. And so who else was there? So obviously the brothers, Nick and Kevin were there. Dan and Shay, they're a country band. They sang their hit "Speechless" as they walked down the aisle. And then, of course, like an Elvis impersonator officiated the ceremony, which I thought was cool. Oh, and also Khalid was also there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Are you guys married?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are married.
A question.
Yes.
Random.
Okay.
Is the sex better, like after marriage, or is it the same?
It's the same.
It's the same.
Yeah, I think that depends on how much effort you put into it.
I think it
True.
depends on, yeah.
I wonder if masturbation's the same before and after.
Oh my
getting married.
gosh.
No.
You don't have to answer that.
Probably the same.
I think
Yeah.
I'm talking to myself.
Probably the
honestly.
same.
Is it?
Still the same therapeutic.
Like, I don't think we make a difference, like, in between their alone time or, like, with by yourself. I think that's both are needed, you know. I
Yeah.
don't think,
For sure.
I don't think
It's just you
one
have to
should
find
die.
the place
Yeah.
and time to do it when
Yeah.
you're married.
I gotcha. What else, Emma? Sorry for the tangent.
What is going
You got
on
more?
through your mind as
Come
you're
on.
asking this
Come
question?
on.
That's fine.
What
Okay.
is the purpose that it serves for you?
I just want to know, like, how it is before and after. Like, does ice cream taste the same after you get married? Are there any other changes besides?
Yes, there are many changes.
Oh, okay.
I would think.
But if you live together, I think you probably already are familiar with those changes.
Do you fart more when
Oh
you're
my
married?
gosh, Zorric! Oh,
No?
please don't!
You don't?
Don't! Stop it! Stop
Depends
it!
on how long you've been married.
Gosh. You're such a child.
I am. Okay. What else, Emma?
All right, so let's talk about the next couple that's expecting their third baby.
Oh my gosh.
So Ryan Reynolds, he actually has a movie right now, which is called.
That's Ryan Reynolds. Go ahead.
Is that really?
Yeah. No.
Are
You
you
don't
serious?
recognize it?
Oh, I was like, where's that from?
It's him. Yeah.
Is it from Deadpool?
He
Because
just-
I
he
did
just
not
called
see those
in.
movies.
Yeah.
So he is the voice of Pikachu in the new movie Pokemon Detective Pikachu. And so they went on the red carpet and Blake Lively showed up her baby bump. And it's so cute.
They've been together for a long time.
They have been together for a long time. This is their third child too. So that's exciting for
Yeah.
them.
I think his best movie was that Deadpool. Right? Have you guys
Really?
seen Deadpool?
I've
Yeah.
seen it. Yeah.
Well, what else? I mean, he had like those high school movies. Like, was he in Van Wilder? Was that his movie?
I don't know. I like the one where he was with Sandra Bullock.
Speed. That was Keanu
No, not
Reeves.
Speed. Mm-mm.
He was in a movie called Waiting.
Oh.
It's so odd. It's one of those oddball movies, but
Was it like
it's
a
so
love
funny.
type?
No,
No?
not at all. It's just one day working in a restaurant that's like Chili's, but it,
Oh.
they don't call it Chili's, but it's just
Yeah, you
and it's
gotta
like
watch it.
2004.
Huh.
Yeah, and it's got Justin Long.
We should watch it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I have a kick out of it.
Yeah, it's funny.
I like The Proposal. That was
Oh,
the movie
that
that
was
he
good
was in.
too.
'Cause
That's
it had
so
Betty
sad.
White in it.
Did you cry? You cried in that one too, I'm sure.
Actually, no.
That was super sad.
What part was sad for you? Let's talk about that.
Maybe the proposal.
Are you saying that you were upset that you had to watch the movie?
No, I think I watched it on like HBO or something. It was like a random night.
It
Alone.
wasn't by choice.
I think that's the only movie of his. Oh, I saw Definitely Maybe, which that movie really made me angry. And I was like, why am I wasting my time here? This is dumb. And
So,
I think that's
would you
the only
date
thing.
Ryan Reynolds? Emma?
I don't know. He is someone that is like very good looking, so I find him very attractive. And he just like his personality that he like how he is on Twitter and like his jokes with Jake Gyllenhaal, sorry. And what's his name?
Get it right.
What's Wolverine's name? I'm mad at him right now. I'm mad at Wolverine, whatever his name is.
He talks in a British accent.
Yeah, no, he's Australian.
Oh,
He's Australian.
Mate, I forgot his name.
Hugh Jackson?
Yeah.
Hugh
so.
Jackman. Hugh Jackman.
Okay, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
So, like, because he kind of comes off like a D-bag. And I don't know if I find him attractive enough to be a D-bag with me. So
I think that's how he is in movies. Because, there's a persona. Mm-hmm. He's like the
True.
cool guy, the cool hot guy, the
He's
jerk.
definitely a D-bag in waiting.
Yeah.
I think he is. I think he is.
You probably like it if you start doing it to you, though.
No, because I
Like doing what to
I don't
you,
think
though?
he's hot enough.
douche.
I don't see him hot enough to do that. Like there
Yeah.
has to be a certain level of hotness before you're allowed to be a D-bag, and it's like
What if he was like,
acceptable.
Emma, I love you so much.
Ugh,
Let's get in bed right now. And
no.
No.
Mm-mm.
You wouldn't. What if you did like a strip tease? No.
No, I don't want to see him naked.
Oh my gosh. He's a good looking dude. I think he is.
Yeah,
is.
and then
Yeah.
like his Deadpool version in the Wolverines movie has ruined him for me. I also saw him in the Amityville Horror Story. I forgot that was one of the last scary movies I saw, and I was like, I can't even see this whole thing. I had to leave.
It had Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, he was the dad. He was the bad guy.
What?
Yeah.
It was a remake?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Because I saw that in House of Wax, like right next to each other. And of course, I only saw House of Wax because of Paris Hilton.
Right. I saw
Obviously.
it a long time ago.
Obviously.
Duh.
That's hot.
All right.
I love her. Okay, that's all I have.
That is hot.
Oh my gosh.
Our
What?
question the other week. Do you know Jason Momoa, Lindsay?
Aquaman?
Aquaman. So he recently shaved his beard, and there was a debate whether or not he's still hot or not.
I'd have to see a photo. I haven't seen it.
Oh, here, I'll show it to
Well,
you.
what did Kale say? Kale said,
Oh my gosh, Kel was being a lawyer, and I said his name. He was
Yeah.
just being a lawyer, and he annoyed me. I don't remember what he was like. Beerless Momoa has yet to be seen, and I was like, it's a yes or no question, and he's like, I refer the right to change my mind, and
Oh
I was
my
like, all right,
gosh.
quiet.
Okay.
Person.
Michelle said, yeah, he's still hot.
What did we? What did we? Say? I don't remember.
I don't remember, but that's what we figured out. So it's about the face.
Okay,
I don't
so
think he
that's
needs it.
him.
Yeah.
He'll be all right with
That's
that.
him
He's
with the
rich.
beard.
He got
right?
nothing to hide under that.
And
No.
then look at that.
No.
He's still hot. I still think he's hot. Like he can still hit this.
Lindsay,
So
give us the verdict.
I'm not even a fan of beards, even though
Your husband.
Uh-oh.
yes. But in his case, I don't like it. I like him better with the beard.
Yeah.
You do?
I don't. I like him either way.
Jason Momoa. You
We're
need to
gonna
put
talk
them-
about this.
Okay, look. Here's
already
one. Look at him with the long hair. Is it the long hair in the face? Is that what you're?
that better.
Okay,
I like
so
that better.
and he's beardless in this picture. He just has the long hair because he pulled his hair back in that picture I showed her.
Okay.
Yeah, with the long hair and the no beard,
Gosh.
it works better for me.
I can just look at all this all day.
Well,
every
guess
day.
what? I can't grow long hair, so
Just shave the beard.
Okay. So that's a good segue into our guests, Lindsay and Jonathan. So we're so happy to have them because we've never talked about the subject before.
No, we have not. This
for
is
those,
the first time.
I mean, I know what it means, but for the audience that doesn't know what it means, guys, what is that?
So I'll go ahead and give a definition.
All right.
You can just break it down by the word, poly being many and amory meaning love.
Mm-hmm.
So it just means that you're open to more than one love
Mm-hmm.
romantically.
More than one love romantically.
correct.
Okay.
So basically, just to put it as a reference, whenever you talk about open relationships, it's probably two individuals who are okay with them doing all kinds of different things with other people, but they're coming up back home to each other. Now, polyamory means that you kind of have similar interests, but you're more leaning towards love. So, first of all, you gotta basically have a good understanding of what love is and how to love yourself first. And then once you have that kind of clear, then you understand that if a person wants to be with you, they're gonna be with you regardless. They're there because of who you are. So they have a pretty good understanding that they love the personality that you are, and not necessarily like what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta like. I'm gonna break that down a little bit because, like, what I'm hearing is that so you're taking your perception of what love is, right? Mm-hmm. You're also taking your partner's perception, and then you're creating a perception together that matches, so that you can have, the
Correct.
polyamorous.
So,
definitely.
However, what happens? Let's pretend that like you had your version of love, Lindsey had her version of love, and they couldn't be matched at that point.
Correct. So another thing is that we have a very close relationship. So there's like, at this point, there's like no secrets or anything that we hide. And so we, before we took this step, we were kind of had to like sink in the same steps. We talked about it, how we felt about each other. And one of the main things is that we understood where we stand with each other. So
Communication is really important.
So let's take it back to the beginning then. So let's get into like how you guys met and that business, so that we can kind of give the timeline of
Correct.
how long this process took for you guys.
Well, I think before how they met. So were you guys into polyamory before you guys met?
No.
Okay.
Okay. So like when you guys were dating people, and let's say, where are you guys from, by the way? Lindsey.
I'm from Texas.
Texas.
I was born in
Whereabouts?
Dallas.
Dallas.
And I've lived around Dallas my whole life.
Okay, so you've been here and you've been dating since maybe high school, college.
High school.
And mainly monogamous relationships, right?
Yes, always.
Okay. Did you in your mind think, oh, maybe what if I...
No, I did not. But I also never really... I never thought too much long term, because... without really, I mean, when you're younger, you don't maybe know yourself as well, but I would get kind of uncomfortable with that thought. So
After how long? What do you consider a long-term relationship versus a short-term relationship?
well, when I was younger, like thinking about the idea of marriage and being together for the rest of your life, it would kind of just make me a little anxious. So I really just wouldn't think about it too much, and I would just take it one day at a time.
In other words, maybe you just weren't ready for that?
Exactly.
Okay. And Jonathan, where are you from, by the way?
Well, I was born and raised in Costa Rica.
What part?
San Jose.
I go there all the time.
You love it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
My man.
That's so
Are you
awesome.
serious?
Yeah. Well,
didn't know this about you.
it's been like 3 years since I've been there, but before then I would go I have a friend in Pavas.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're always hanging.
And you
That's
don't
awesome.
take me?
Right?
We have a mutual friend that's from Costa Rica. A friend. Anyways.
I'm curious to know who it is
No,
now.
we have friends from Costa Rica. We have some friends.
Jonathan.
Yeah. now,
Besides Jonathan.
now number two.
Okay,
but yeah,
fine.
But yeah, we have friends there, and I'm close with somebody who I used to work for him. I helped him with his data center because I'm in IT, and then we kept our friendship.
Who is this friend that we have in common? Like, it's bothering me. All right, fine. Tell me after.
Okay, so anyway,
Ugh.
so you moved to the States.
Yeah, we came to Texas when I was 10 years old, and then, just went on a regular American life after that. Just went to middle school, high school, graduated, started working, and here we are.
What's that breakfast food you guys have with the rice and the
Gallo Pinto?
Yeah, gallo pinto.
Oh man, yes.
Yeah.
What
You're
is
making me
gallo
hungry
pinto?
again. it's like casamiento for a lot of like the Central Americans. It's just rice and beans mixed together.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But in Costa Rica, we have this salsa called salsa lisano, and that pretty much to anything, but it's what makes it bomb.
I have a good
Is it
story about that.
spicy?
No, it's not.
No.
Costa Ricans don't really eat spicy
Okay.
food,
Or
but
what-
it's good stuff.
That stuff is so hard to find. And I wanted to be able
The
to...
lisano?
Yes. I wanted to make a dish for him that he would like. And I went to look for it. And I tried to find it at one store at Fiesta, and I couldn't. So I went to another store thinking maybe they would have it. They were all out. And finally, I called my sister-in-law, Jonathan's sister, and I was like, hey, where can I get that? And she was like, well, my parents have to request it ordered. And I was like, okay. And she was like, from Cost Plus, and that's where I went. And I said, oh, they were all out.
And she goes, okay, well, I'm going to look in the kitchen. And she was like, oh, I can see why they're all out. We have 11 bottles here. So I had to go over there to get one.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I like the food there. It was really good. And Hako.
Hako,
Yeah,
yes.
it's nice place.
That's a nice beach.
Beach area. Anyway, so you moved here. So did you know you were kind of thinking about polyamory back then?
No, actually, well, I was just like any other teenager, you know. I was just trying to date, and see where I landed. But I never truly saw myself dating somebody that I was like, okay, I'll get married with her. You know, I was always like she said, I was just looking at, you know, everything, and I was like, man, I don't see myself with this chick, you know.
Yeah.
So I never really had a long-term relationship. It was probably maybe a year tops.
How about in the States? You're talking about the States?
I was talking about the States.
Okay.
Yeah.
He
so-
was 10 when he was in Costa Rica. You really think he's going to be
I don't
dating
know.
at
I
10
don't
years
know.
old?
You never know.
Were
know?
you dating at 10 years
Maybe
old?
I was. Yes, I was.
That's a lie if I ever heard one.
Just playing with G.I. Joe's at 10 years.
When you give her a little friendship bracelet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of those over there.
Yeah.
So when did you guys know? Well, let's talk about what Emma was talking about. So how did you guys meet?
So we had a friend in common that I went to high school with, and just happened to be her friend as well. And I was kind of just snooping through her social media.
You were stalking her on the
Not
internet.
necessarily stalking, but I was kind of like finding like what it's out
That's
there.
called stalking. Okay.
And then right into Lindsay's profile, and I was just like, I gotta talk to her. She
So
seems
did
interesting.
you slide into the DMs?
Oh, I was like, yeah, totally. Yeah, actually, it took me a year before we actually went on our first date.
Whoa, what made you wait that long?
Oh, I'm telling you, she was interesting. So I was like,
He asked me for a date a couple of times, but
You turned him down?
I did because I didn't
Young?
know him.
Oh.
yeah. She didn't know what was coming.
I was like, I don't know him. And then my friend wasn't really vouching for him at first. She was like, he's just a guy
Do
I went to
know
high
this
school
person?
with.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe,
We can talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever you guys had that first date, how was it?
Hold on. Did y'all see that Zorric just
Yeah,
brought his
I just want to like
Costa Rica-
vet my story.
okay.
You got
Nice.
100
He's like,
pictures
I'm
right
sorry,
there.
look at me. I went to Costa Rica. Like, I know what I'm talking
You better
about.
put this on Instagram right now. Just
Costa
kidding.
Rica
Coasters.
coasters,
Yes,
yeah.
there you go.
Okay, so you finally said yes,
I did.
and then where did you guys go?
So after a year of him, like, trying and trying.
Well, one night we were out and we had had a few drinks and we were a little... And she was like, hey, you know what about my friend Jonathan? Because I had told her, and she's like, he's been asking you for a while and he's actually nice. I was like, invite him.
Okay, hold on. Pause real quick, Jonathan. So this whole time, were you like telling the friends, like, I'm really into her, I want to go on a date
not
with
at
her?
all.
Can you put a
I
word?
was strictly already trying to talk to her directly.
Oh.
See,
You know?
that's the problem, Jonathan. You needed to get the friend in your corner to also vouch for you.
I couldn't trust her. Well, you know, girl and girl is just gonna go towards a girl.
Not
and
if you
I-
have a
I
good
had to go-
relationship. Like if
Well,
Zorric were
maybe
to
they
come up to
didn't
me and
have-
like if Zorric were to come up to me and be like, hey, like if he were to be, he's not single. So like in the past, had he come up to me and be like, hey, talk to me about this girl, I have.
I think I did pretty well since I'm married to her.
That's
now.
true. That's true. But I'm just saying, like, it could have helped speed it up a little.
Maybe.
That was a good year for me, though. I needed to be single that year.
Yeah, we all need that. Okay, first date. I want to hear.
So we were out having dinner, and then
Where'd y'all go for dinner?
just I think we just went somewhere regular, like Chili's,
Mm,
something like
okay.
that. And
We were with her friend as well. Their two were together first. So
Wait
I
a
just-
second.
Yeah.
Did something happen? No. I'm
Well,
kidding.
that was confusing. What?
Well, are you talking about the first date that I met you, or our first actual date alone? Because
like a romantic date.
We want the romantic.
Yeah, we want to hear
first date.
romance. Like I'm a sucker for that stuff.
Oh well, that's a good story though. Our
it
how
is,
we met.
It's romantic.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's funny.
All right. All
That's
right,
it.
Sharon. All right.
So anyway, we invited him, and then he showed up. He took forever, and I would come to find out that that's his MO, is to take forever to get ready. Yeah.
He's worse than a girl.
He is. Like, coming over here, he allotted himself like an hour and a half to get ready, and he allotted me like 15 minutes. Anyway, but I got it done.
Let's get back to the romance.
Okay, sorry.
Romance.
No, our listeners need to understand that this is the crap that happens when you get married.
Yeah.
It's not all beautiful after the marriage.
We want it to be beautiful right now, okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm breaking that illusion, y'all.
So he finally showed up. We left and went somewhere else. And
You and your friend?
yeah.
And left him there?
No,
No.
Oh, he
we
came with
waiting
him.
on
Okay.
him. We left and went somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
And because we wanted dessert.
Uh-huh.
And so he showed up and I saw him through the window and I knew it was him. And he was wearing a black leather jacket. And he walked
Were
in.
you looking? Were you like looking in?
Yeah,
the
we
window?
saw
It's
each other.
there, bro. Like I was like, oh, she spotted me, man. And she gave you like, I know it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
And
hurry
he
up.
sat down beside me and he started talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really attracted to his voice at first.
I am too.
What about his voice were you attracted to?
Ooh.
It just sounds so
My heavy accent.
husky and yeah, I like that too. It's
All right.
really nice.
She's words of affirmation,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yes.
What's your love? Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep. See? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're an
Anyway.
expert now?
I'm an expert. Continue.
He likes to think that he's a therapist and a counselor sometimes because he hangs out with us all the time.
I understand.
So how are you feeling? How is this feeling right now? So when you're sitting by him, he's talking, you guys are exchanging stories.
So I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was just like, okay, cool. And then he said something funny.
They were tipsy, bro.
Yeah, he said something funny, and I had just taken a drink. This is his really story to tell, but I'm telling it.
I
Anyway.
was there just like trying to make conversations and try to be
There you
funny.
go.
So
And then I said something.
he said something funny, and it was hard for me
She
because
spit on my
take.
face.
I just
mean,
spit,
like blaster me. Like,
I laughed.
I was
and
like,
just spit
all
all over
right,
him.
good start.
And he was just like, oh, good.
That's a cute visual. You know, if like two people are trying to date or on
Yeah.
a date, that's pretty nice. That's romantic.
It was funny.
Yeah. Did
I
you
was-
like wipe it off her face? And
She didn't even try. She
Oh.
was just laughing, and I was just like, okay, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I'll clean myself, you know. But so after that, you know, they were already pretty much done with eating and stuff. So her friend was just like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna let y'all do y'all's thing, and she took off.
Yeah,
That's
she
a
knew what was
good
going
friend.
on.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's a
saying.
good
Like,
wing
she
woman.
came through. She came through.
So how did the date continue? Just you guys kept talking, and then
We kept talking, and what time did we end up going home that night? Like 3 a.m.
Whoa!
Oh, that
what
is so
time did you
romantic.
meet them?
like around 8:30.
Jeez, that's a long date.
We just ended up talking all night in the car.
The truth is, we went and we bought a little bit of weed. And we were
Okay.
just sitting
Yeah.
and talking. You know, actually, I was talking to her left ear because she was staring at the window the whole time. She was like so stoned.
I
you know?
was, and I didn't want him to see, so I was just facing away like this.
But we stood there. We talked for a while, and we did like I dropped her off like around 3 a.m.
Did you kiss her?
Not that
No,
night.
on
Not
the
that
cheek.
night.
Yeah.
But a week
You
later,
waited.
Wait, the dartboard?
No. It was the night that we went to that bar and you went and kind of.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's. I
Yeah.
forgot
So
about that.
a week passed by and
Uh-huh.
I was like, man, I gotta.
Did you text her like the next day, or did you just kind of?
No,
wait?
he didn't.
I did.
He waited.
Were you
No.
waiting for a text?
I kind of thought because I knew he liked me, and so I was like, he's gonna text me, and then he
She was
did
like,
it.
I got this.
How long did
Yeah.
you
I got
wait?
him.
Huh?
How long did you wait again?
Like 4 days.
Yeah, like
So,
4
oh my
days.
gosh, I hate that stupid rule so much.
It
makes
wasn't
me
even
so
that I was
angry.
trying. I was actually just doing my,
He was
I was like,
busy.
I don't want to bug her. You know, I'll give her space. And
Oh my
once-
What a
Gosh.
true gentleman.
You know?
You need a guy from Costa Rica, because
You do.
yeah.
See.
Everybody does.
So the second date, you guys went out to.
So yeah, second day, picked her up, and I mean, I was going for it to kill this time. I was like, I'm gonna pull.
It was
all
the day after my
tricks.
birthday.
Oh, that's nice.
Ooh.
So, but that's like high expectations.
High
too.
expectations.
Shit.
Well, yeah, that's what I
Nah.
thought. You know,
it was my
but
26th birthday, so I was like,
Oh,
eh,
okay.
no.
You're 27 now, probably.
I'm 29.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's recent.
yeah, it's,
Like
Yeah.
2
we
years
don't have
ago.
We
much
met in
to-
2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And so we met at the bar, and I'm over here just like having a couple of drinks and trying to like persuade with like just talking. And I was standing up, kind of like leaning towards her, and
And I'm sitting.
yeah, she's sitting, just listening to me say whatever I gotta say, and she stands up and like steals a kiss from me.
Bam.
Well, wait. That's it? You're not even okay.
She's gotta make it
We like that.
romantic.
He's
We
like,
like that.
Lindsay's like, you're not saying it
Yeah.
correctly, so let me
okay,
make this more
he's
romantic.
bragging to me, telling me I'm so good at knowing what people are thinking. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
oh, are you?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, so what do you think I'm thinking right now? And he didn't say anything, and then I just got up and kissed him.
That's so hot.
Bro, she had me then. I was like, that's it.
His face was
it.
so just shocked.
Oh
That's
my God.
never had happened in my life before. You know, I was always like the wolf, just kind of like.
Yeah, because the man, typically, we make
Yeah.
moves, right?
Yeah.
Make money moves and then other moves,
Ah,
too.
yeah. Bloody moves.
So, what did you feel like when she kissed
Oh,
you?
I was look. I had never been like out of place.
You're like,
Because I'm very
manhandled.
confident, you know.
Yeah.
But this time I was like, I mean, what's next? Like,
Oh,
just kill
you
me.
wanted
Like-
more, huh?
So Lindsay, like, what was your intention on that?
Just to throw him off.
Uh-huh. And then what?
Just to get his attention, throw him
Yeah.
off, and let him know that I can
Well,
be
she was in
bold.
charge. She was in charge that
Yeah.
night.
So you were interested at this point.
Oh yeah, definitely.
okay.
Are
I
you
liked
still
him.
in charge?
No,
Question.
I don't feel like
I'm
I
just
am.
asking.
I feel like we trade off.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm in
That's
charge
good.
of the remote.
Balance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, balance.
Okay, so so you guys started dating, and then when did you guys get, married and stuff?
It was about a year, right? About a year after.
We got married on October 31st of 2017.
How did you
Halloween.
guys? How did it happen? How did you propose? Or, I think Lindsay proposed.
I did. I said, "Do you want to get married?" And he was like, "Yeah."
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
She takes the bold moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marriage is it. Well, it wasn't such a. It wasn't and still isn't just the huge centripetal part of our life or our vision together. It was just something that we did because we wanted to.
We
For us.
became really good friends. This is the thing. Like her and I have a very good relationship where I don't feel like if I don't go see my boys, I'm missing out on anything. If anything, I tend to want to bring her along with me just
Yeah.
because I always have a good time when
We
I'm
do
with
go
her.
everywhere together.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So when did the polyamory start? Is it before marriage or after marriage?
After marriage.
After
Right
marriage.
after, like,
Okay.
or was it right before? We took a while when we first brought it up to each other. Jonathan brought it up,
But well, I feel like you guys are very, I don't know, adventurous, right?
Could be.
Could be.
Sometimes. Depends on what
Depends.
it is. So
Okay. All right. Sorry. Keep going. When did it happen? When did
he
it?
brought it up, and then we took a long time to think about it and to talk about it and get used to the idea with each other before we actually ever tried anything.
And at this point, we were already living together. She was staying. Well, we were staying over at my parents, and we, like I say, it was like almost a whole year before we took any moves. And so by that time, I feel like we had a pretty good understanding of who we were to each other. And I mean, we didn't like she said, it wasn't really a big deal. Like we already feel like the connection that we had, it's already past what marriage.
Were
could bring to
you ever hesitant or worried about like Lindsay's reaction when you did ask?
No, I
Drum
think.
roll.
I think
Where's this?
I think we felt confident enough with each other that it wasn't gonna be anything. Like we really didn't think marriage was gonna change anything in our relationship. So it was more of a beneficial step.
I meant in terms of like bringing up the polyamory.
Oh, well, at that point I was okay with just being with her, and so was
No.
she.
I gotta cut it there. No, it was there was hesitation on both of our parts at first because when he brought it up, and my very first reaction was just to hear him out. But then I went home and I started thinking about it, and I started reflecting on it and kind of dwelling on it for the next couple of days, and I was just like, oh, I don't know.
Were you walk me through kind of the emotions that you went through?
So at first, when he brought it up, like I said, I heard him out because I didn't want to freak out, because I don't feel like
And you
that.
weren't married at this point, or you
No,
were?
we
Okay.
weren't.
No, okay. Were y'all engaged?
No,
No. Okay.
we were still together, just dating. And at first, I feel like my emotional reaction was probably what I would have had before I kind of got to know myself a little bit better. I was just like, oh, you're telling me this because maybe you don't really want to be with me, or you feel like you're going to get bored. Emotionally.
So there's a lot of like internalizing, like I'm not good enough.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
At first, but the more I read about it, the more I kind of just opened myself up to the idea, and I did a lot of soul searching and thinking about it, and thinking about the fact that a lot of times this idea of the rules that we have to follow kind of has always just not really been my thing. And so I was like, well, who said it has to be that way? You know, who said you only have to have one person if your inclination is towards something else? And the more I thought about it, the more I became comfortable with the idea.
Yeah.
So you've both mentioned that you've had to, you know, like know yourselves, be comfortable with yourselves. And so I'm curious to know, because that again, like, is so dependent on the person, like what that looks like for each of you. Like, what does it mean when you say I had to do soul searching and I had to reflect on myself and I have to like know myself, love myself, you know, whatever.
I think that has two different sections. One being, for like, at least for me, it comes more of understanding what ego is and what ego does to you. And before any of this happened, we were experimenting with psychedelics, and one of the times we usually did it in groups. Between my wife was in there and a couple of other friends, and one of those sessions I encountered what was a ego death. And so at that point, in that stage...
What does that mean? What is it?
It means... It can mean a lot of things. But basically, there's nothing holding you from saying what you want to say, because it's basically like you seeing yourself from a third point perspective. So you no longer have like fear of saying something or that's going to affect on how somebody else thinks about you. Like all those fears go away, you know, and you start really truly saying what you feel. But this is not for everybody. It doesn't work like that for it just happened to do that to me. As
a mental health, you know, clinician, I gotta say that this is what I teach my clients, though, right? Like I teach them to advocate for themselves in a way that is helpful, and at the same time, like not losing who they are, because I always think you can advocate for yourself. It just sounds like your journey was very different from, you know, when I work with my patients. Yeah.
So how did you know when you loved yourself, like Emma was saying? Like when was that? What was
so
the point?
I think I've learned that pretty early in my life. I want to say maybe like 15 or something like that. And it's come to me because I've been able to experience a lot of challenges and seeing how I can surpass the challenge. So that gave me some sort of confidence that I could like lean to and start understanding who I really was as a person. So evaluating myself really showed me the type of people that I wanted around me. And so I think if you stick to your intuition and you try to better yourself, you kind of understand how other people are acting, and you choose, do I really want this kind of energy to be towards me, or do I want something better for myself? Is this going to benefit me? So like it's mainly about you finding value in yourself and who you want to spend that time with, or who do you want to share yourself with to somebody else.
So when you say you value yourself, like what does like that specifically mean to you?
Okay, so I feel like I could bring a lot of good things to a table, whether it's like what I know under my work ethics, or how I treat myself in a relationship environment, or you know, just the things that I can bring to the table to the relationship.
In other words, you're confident with who you are, maybe?
Correct.
Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah.
Well, it's part of it. If you love yourself, you're going to be confident because you know your capabilities, and you probably put yourself through a set of challenges that are going to determine who you are as a person. Kind of like builds your character too. It's kind of hard to put it on just one perspective, because I feel like it takes a lot of different things to build the kind of person who at least I think I am today. But the main thing again is figuring out how to love yourself. If you don't know how to love yourself, you're basically needing somebody else to come to you to try to make your life better, instead of you trying to make your life better for yourself.
Right.
And allowing somebody else who might have the similar interest and that you might also like, you know, kind of like how you like a best friend or something.
Yeah.
So Lindsey,
Go ahead.
when you agreed, or when you both agreed, obviously this is like a group kind of decision.
Right.
What was the next step?
So right away, it was not polyamorous. It was just, it was just going to be kind of something along the lines of being an open relationship. And we were talked about the
Can you
differences.
kind of give us a difference between
Yeah.
the polyamorous and open relationship?
So, for me, I suppose that the definition just is kind of relates to terms of sexuality. And I just feel like in a polyamorous relationship, you might pursue a relationship with someone rather than just having sex with them or being intimate.
Okay, so it was open, so that means you guys can kind of, you're in a relationship and you guys can see other people.
Correct.
At first. So does that mean you guys are sleeping with people at the same time in the same room, or?
At that time, it was more of, I guess she gave me the opportunity to explore it first myself and how I felt confident, if I felt confident about it or not.
And
So-
how I felt when he did it.
Correct. So I went and I met up with a friend, and you know, we went and did our thing, and
A Tinder.
it was through Tinder.
Okay, okay.
And then
So when you did your thing, what were you thinking about Lindsey too? I mean, like, how does that work? Because
well, I had a very I'm very confident in how I felt about Lindsey. I knew that me meeting somebody else and doing this was not going to change how I felt about her. Just because of all the previous relationships that I had, I knew hers was different.
yeah.
So here's my whole thing with it, right? My whole thing is like the jealousy and the envy piece of it, right?
That's a great point.
Because like, and I've spoken about this before, like I was in a relationship, you know, like a few months ago, and the guy didn't want to commit, and so he was like, if you want to date outside of me, you can. And when I did it, I felt so guilty about it. And also like, and at the same time, I knew that if he, like, I felt like he was doing the same thing, because obviously he was giving me permission. It was like, I hate this because, like, what if this person takes this person away from me? And so, like, the jealousy and the envy piece of it was very strong. So I know that you feel comfortable in yourself that you care enough about Lindsey. I'm curious to know, like, what made you really think that Lindsey was going to be able to, like, cope with it and to, like, be okay with it? And then I'm going to ask you the same thing, Lindsey, because this is huge.
It is. So I think from before we did anything like that, I've noticed that the way we built confidence with each other was to be truthful, say exactly how we felt, and you know, we've always been strong believers that if it was meant to happen, like we were meant to stay together, we're gonna stay together, and if that changed anything, then you know, there's no sense of like really fighting to keep it together, because I feel like that's one way of getting a big major red flag. You know, you're trying to force something to work when it's really not working, you know. So but before we did anything, I felt like we were at that stage where we feel like, you know, we have a pretty good bond. We did take the risk that it could have like messed up the relationship, I guess.
Yeah, that was that first time, right? Was
Yeah,
the
it
test
was
there.
it was yeah.
So
But
what about Lindsey let you know that, like, yes, I feel confident enough and with Lindsey that, like, this is going to be okay?
Well, first, when she first told me how she felt, we completely like took it out of the picture and we put it to the side, you know. And it wasn't until after a couple of sessions of just experimenting with psychedelics where we told each other how we felt and my perspective on why I wanted to do it and her perspective on why she wanted to attempt it, that we came into an agreement. But it really wasn't until I went out there and had my first experience and came back and exposed to her that nothing had changed, even after weeks of the occasion, then I think she felt a little bit more confident after
Wait,
that.
after the occasion, like the sex?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you were having sex, what was Lindsey doing? Did you know like it was happening like right then and there?
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Yeah,
at
how
that
are you
moment?
coping with it?
I was anxious,
Uh-huh.
but I just stayed at home and watched a movie.
Yeah.
And then he stayed in touch with me throughout the night. And
Was that like a relief for you in some way?
it was.
Okay.
Yeah, because at one point I got worried because I was like, I'm kind of an overthinker. So I was like, what if this person's a murderer? And just all kinds of thoughts were going through my head
Yeah.
that he met up with. You know, what if she's crazy? What if
Or
she's a
what
killer?
if like she was like the best sex ever? I mean, that's what I Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know cuz I'm so jealous. But okay, so that was happy. So did you have Oh, go ahead, Emma.
So now I kind of want to hear your process of
Okay.
like the envy and the jealousy piece of it. Like what allowed you to be like, okay, so like this won't be taken from me, like, and therefore like I know that I won't be replaced.
I think because of the fact that we were such good friends that I just feel completely accepted by Jonathan for exactly who I am, that I felt like our connection was, something inside told me that it would be okay.
So how about your first time? How was that?
My first time.
Well, it was probably would have been when we were dating that couple together.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Uh-oh. How much time do we have?
Right. Oh,
Yeah. So hold on. So you guys were dating another couple. And that was the first time you
Yes.
were with somebody else.
Yes.
So can you set the stage? So were you with him away from Jonathan?
Yes.
Yeah?
No.
No.
Not the first time we had sex.
Okay.
Well, so Lindsay's bi as well, right?
Uh-huh.
So I started dating the girl. Of course, I have no interest on her boyfriend, but obviously we're trying to, polyamory doesn't necessarily put cuts on anybody.
But
It's
is this
just
swinging also, sort of? Is that the same?
It just went that way.
Okay.
That was not really, it just kind of happened.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was just having a conversation with the dude, and we just, bonding, I guess, just talking about guy stuff, and his wife was with Lindsay in the room. Just I guess they were just playing around and whatnot, and then all of a sudden the wife comes out. The wife comes out, and she was like, "Well, we need a
Oh
couple
my
of guys
God,
to come to the
Zorric.
room," and then
Yeah.
So here we go.
Okay. So take us through that, because
It was
you know,
really fun.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
So like, who starts the
exciting.
whole thing? Is like you watch them, they're doing their thing, and you guys just jump in, or like?
Well,
like,
when I walked in, we were told to strip down right away.
Oh,
And so
goodness.
By her. She was really bold.
Yeah, she was like, take that off and come
Okay,
over.
so you guys are naked, and you guys are naked.
We were already in the middle of our thing.
Okay, so is it like a pie, like a scrum, like just jump in, or like?
Yep.
So who kisses who first? You guys kiss each other first, or is it?
They, the wife and my wife were making out already.
Okay.
We kind of like just took our sides, and then just
Like swapped?
there was tantric music
Well, her
playing.
and him already
Yeah,
met up before that.
Yeah.
Okay, was that the Tinder? No.
No,
Okay.
that was someone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were on Tinder, was this like was it
Emma goes
evident?
away from the sex. I'm going towards the sex.
I know. Was that evident whenever you were on Tinder? Like, yes, this is like. Was it like announced basically? Like, I'm married and I'm looking for.
Oh yeah, I've always
Okay.
like been very open about how I run my relationship, and just like I never hide anything from her. I feel like if I want the same thing with somebody else, I'm just gonna have to apply the same formula. Just don't hide anything. Put everything up front. That way, there's nothing to hide. You don't. I don't even have to like put a password on my phone. My wife is free to go through anything, and that's kind of how we work. It was such a relief because back then, prior to dating Lindsay, I would date people, and then it will get to the point where I knew it wasn't going to work out, but I was already kind of like maybe starting to talk to somebody else. And that just makes you feel kind of like weird. It's like, are you lying? Is deception or whatnot? And with her, it was more like, hey, this is kind of how I feel. What do you think about it? And she, everything is with consent.
Yeah. So after that night, how did that affect the relationship? Did anything change, or, did it kind of get the ball rolling for more?
I think it got stronger.
Yeah.
How so?
Because we had a mirror to see another relationship, and we kind of appreciate what we had going on for each other that maybe they were missing, and we're like,
Sadly, it didn't work out as well for them.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, Emma, so it means they have a strong ass bond, right? Because you can't be jealous, right? Like you've been saying, you have to be, I guess, confident within yourself and your relationship that you guys, even though the sex might be badass or might be shitty, that you guys are gonna stay together.
Oh yeah.
There's that commitment.
And ever since I think I've experienced a little more than her. She's a little bit more of an introvert, and I'm just like social and stuff. But I've run into people who I even found attractive, and we just didn't have a connection. And I'm automatically like, I don't even want to pursue it because I understand how this connection works. That's kind of what I want now. I want every single connection that I have with somebody to be in that kind of level, just because anything less will be kind of a waste of time.
I'm curious to know, like, if you guys have any like limits and boundaries.
Yes. What are
on
the
this
rules?
arrangement?
Yeah.
Use protection.
Okay. That's
Don't lie.
important.
And
Yeah.
don't lie.
So are you
What
guys?
does that mean, though?
Yeah.
So because it's such a generalized term, like, so in regards to like break it down for me. Like, when you guys say don't lie, like, what are the specific things you guys are referring to?
Well, I guess maybe to elaborate on don't lie, it's probably a more proactive measure. Like, if you're thinking about it, then just be upfront about it.
Yeah, don't wait until last minute to be like, just be, hey, I'm kind of talking to somebody right now.
Okay.
But how does that happen?
So let's just say, like, so if Lindsey is finding Zorric attractive right now, like, Lindsey needs to tell you right now, like, hey, I'm attracted to Zorric.
Not necessarily. It could, if she's attempting to pursue the relation, like, we could walk anywhere and I could find somebody attractive, and I'll just take it as that. But if we are gonna pursue something with it, then we kind of just let each other know. Just, hey, I'm gonna talk to so.
Are there any other rules, like no doggy style or something, or like
No.
no, just whatever goes?
Whatever
Yeah.
goes.
But do you guys have to be together all the time, or
No.
can it be separate?
Separate. She could possibly have her own other boyfriend or girlfriend.
Okay.
And I could have my other set of relationships, or we can even maybe find somebody who we find both attractive and that we both want to talk to, and we just pursue it. There's no set of rules. Like, we understand that you can like or love somebody else, not necessarily in a sexual way. So you can have a best friend and say, hey, I love this person, and whatever, and it's up to y'all if y'all want to take it to the next step or not.
Yeah.
But being love, the point of attraction, and not necessarily anything sexual.
I think it would be dishonest too if we didn't also be upfront about the fact that jealousy is a thing. It happens. It's just kind of, it's momentary. It passes.
Yeah.
And so when that like is in the moment, like, do you guys like request each other to stop or to like minimize the time with the other person?
We haven't gone there yet where we had told each other to like step down, I guess.
Was it usually like a short-term thing, like one
It
and
has
done?
been so far.
It's
Yeah.
difficult to find somebody that you can connect in that way. And even some people that might be saying they're polyamorous sometimes don't have the right definition or have another point of perspective on it. So it's kind of difficult. I at least try to talk to somebody who is a little bit more open-minded and like self-aware, and usually carries on to a good conversation. That's kind of how I get to know if it's a good candidate or not. But at this time, I do
Interview,
find it very
huh?
difficult.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
So you
Resume.
guys mentioned like protection, which I think is great because it helps from STDs, right? However, like, what would happen if pregnancy would arise?
So we talked about it, and I think we both agreed that we would pursue an abortion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, me.
Yeah.
What about
Or
like,
that
let's say
other-
that Jonathan
got
gets
somebody
the
else
other, pregnant.
Well, and also here's the thing, you know, if the person who we're dating happens to, you know, get along with us and like it's what we wanted, then there's really no need of like getting it away or you know, cutting ties with them. You could join the relationship and be part of it.
Oh, really?
So then it becomes more like big love.
Yeah, like a
Bill, whatever his name was.
Hater? Not hater.
Not hater. No.
Clinton.
No.
Oh.
That's what I thought. I was like, Bill Clinton?
No, it was, I forget the actor's
Yeah.
name.
But okay, so it can kind of
can
morph
grow.
into more
Yeah.
more people.
So I'm always thinking about factors, right? Because, and you know, like, whatever, like, I don't give a crap because it's not my relationship. Like, but like, I know myself enough that this is not the path for me. So I always keep thinking about like the what ifs.
Sure.
So what if this person, let's say you get pregnant, you, Jonathan, get someone else pregnant and they're like, no, I need to commit now because this is a baby. Like, what would happen at that point?
I personally would take it like as if I would take any other person who might get pregnant by me. I'll step in, you know, and pursue what it needs to be. You know, I feel like at that point will be a mutual conversation between all three of us, and it will be discussed in between the three of us, and whatever we decide between the three of us will go from there. You know, I don't think it's in a specific choice by one specific person, and this is why it's so difficult to try to date other people that are in the same path. Just because we're poly and we're open to more doesn't mean that it gets any easier.
Right.
Yeah,
And what
yeah.
about you, Lindsay? Like, what would be your reaction if that were to happen?
If you were to get somebody else pregnant?
Yeah.
And
And then want that commitment.
they
Or at
would
le-
want that
Yeah.
commitment.
Like what commitment? Like
I get, you know, because a lot of times, like, we still have in the era that, like, if you get pregnant by someone, like, if you're a man and a woman, like, you must get together and, like, have a relationship for the sake of the child.
yeah.
If, let's just say, Jonathan said that, you know, I've gotten somebody pregnant and I love them and I want to pursue a relationship with them and I don't want to be with you anymore, because that would be the worst case scenario, right? I would have to respect that, and I would just have to take that as it came.
Jeez,
That's so
girl.
sad. I'm about to cry right now.
It's
my turn.
Like, hers is like worst case scenario.
No, you guys are so perfect.
I don't mean, and it's not to sound cynical. It's
Yeah,
just
but-
that the way that I think about it is if he were to leave me for someone else, or he had the ability to leave me for someone else, then that was probably going to happen anyway.
I'll give y'all a better perspective, because that one was kind of a rough one, but I'll give you another one. How about if Lindsay was to get a major job opportunity in another state and she had to leave and I couldn't go with her, would I be okay with her like exploring her other side? I would say totally, because if you really truly love somebody, you got to be happy for them and help them, you know, do better for themselves. So that's part of understanding what self-love is. You know, you have to love yourself enough to be okay to be alone, but at the same time to be able to support your partner in whatever life choice is going to make them happier.
So if you love that other person, can you still love Lindsay at the same
course.
time? Yeah.
You can
So
love,
that's what the whole poly thing.
correct. You can
Yeah.
love more than one person at the time. Just because I love her doesn't mean that I don't like other things about other people.
And I think at that point, like, you're taking love and you're applying it in very different ways in the same way, because I agree. Like, I loved the guy that I was with, and I also love my family, and I also love Zorric, and I also love my best friend Shannon.
Correct.
And it's different loves. Am I
Correct.
gonna, like, and I will be very honest, like, even to this day, well, back then, like, let's say my boyfriend asked for something, and then, like, Zorric and Shannon asked me for something, and it was probably at the same level. Like, I know that I would have different boundaries for each of them. And
Correct.
so it's like, yes, it's love in general. However, like, it becomes specific with the people that we are around.
It gets hard whenever you don't have, like, you're not okay with being alone. I think people should have their fair share of alone time to get to know themselves and see what they really want, because the hard part is thinking about you letting go of something that you really are attached to, right? And being alone after that, and not having anybody to, like, show you that affection. But once you're at that point where you understand that, you know, you can be okay alone, it's not so hard to get in your head that, you know, you're just there to support them, not really to keep them with you.
Yes, you're there to support them, and at the same time, like if I'm a whole and Zorric's a whole, we're both wholes, we both love each other, let's say we're getting married, like, yes, you want it to be like this connection of like we're both pushing each other up. And at the same time, like if he's telling me he wants to get a job somewhere and I'm like here, then we need to have that conversation.
Correct.
And at the same time, like I'm allowed to feel pissed off that he's leaving. I'm allowed to feel that because that's my feeling. That's my reaction. You can't tell someone they're not allowed to feel a certain way in a reaction.
I agree with you. The only thing I would say is digest the situation. Like, why are you feeling angry? Why is it that, are you angry because that person's no longer going to be with you to satisfy your needs, or are you angry because he's leaving?
No, it's like we all have natural reactions.
Yeah.
If you punch me in the face,
correct.
I'm going to get pissed off. I'm going to punch you right back.
I'm just trying to dissect where the
it depends on the person. Why do I get that?
Because you're punching people now. Oh my gosh.
No, that's true though. That's a good point. And I tell him that all the time. Is like, you can't invalidate the way that somebody feels in the moment.
Because I feel the way that I feel. Like, you know, like absolutely. We kind of joke around like we're feelings doctors as therapists and counselors because we feel what we feel.
The first time that Lindsey and I experienced that together with the other couple, oh, believe me, like I had to seriously like ego check myself.
Were you jealous when did you see them having sex?
Yes.
Yeah. We
were you jealous? Oh my gosh. I don't. Oh, you need more wine.
I was feeling very like insecure before it.
Yeah.
Just because.
Was this guy some big Fabio guy?
He was skinnier than me, but he wasn't like I said, I'm confident.
What if it was Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
I still would act the same way.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the hottest man on the earth.
I think Zorric would.
I would cry in the corner and run.
I'll take it on the positive way. I'll be like, I'm in the room with the hottest man. Let's do this, you know?
Okay. Did you guys ever like do the guys?
No. I'm just straight, and so was he. But we just, you know, like to please
supported them.
Yeah. You guys are in this. Okay. So how has that affected your sex life? Like just you two together? Enhanced? Maybe not. I don't know.
I think we know a little bit more about each other. I don't think it's changed in any drastic manner. I think being together with a person for a long time, kind of like obviously stuff kind of slows down. But again, it's to however much effort you want to put into it, you know.
Yeah, because when you experiment with somebody else, they have their preferences, and you're like, oh, maybe, you know, Lindsey and I can do this because it's kind of interesting.
Also, I like to put a difference between like sex and love. So maybe I could have sex with somebody else that's very different and maybe more like intense in all kinds of different ways, but that doesn't take away from, like, I still like to come home and maybe have the type of sex that her and I have. It doesn't make it any less or any more, you know. It's just
sex is a physical act, and love is the emotion.
Correct.
But Lindsey, it's being poly is not just sex though. Is it going on dates with other people, like spending time watching movies, cooking together? So have you done something like that was non-sexual?
Yes. So we went out together. You know, we would meet up for coffee, have conversations, hang out. We would read together and just talk throughout the day, like kind of the same way I would.
It's like dating somebody brand new. You know, you're applying the same things that how you act in the beginning of a relationship. You try to get to know the person, and the only difference is that we had somebody to talk about when we got home. It's like, okay, this is how it went down. This is what happened today, and you know, we'll just discuss it, and maybe
I'll check in with each other too. Like, hey, where are you at mentally about this? How do you feel about it?
Have you loved somebody else before? While, you know, with Jonathan?
No, I wouldn't say it got to that point just yet.
Okay.
But it can happen.
The relationship ended. Yeah. But that stopped me. I mean, it could have gotten there.
Yeah. Wow. Lots of information about being poly. Do you guys go to swingers clubs here? I think there's some.
We have it.
No,
to
but
me,
we
it's all about
talked
the
about
sex.
it.
I mean,
yeah, we talked about it. I really,
Zorric,
I want to.
to.
I want to.
I want to look at this therapeutically. Zorric's like sex. Sex. Let's talk about
I guess
sex.
that's one thing that has changed for me is that I don't seek the sexual life as much as I do connections now. Just because I've had sex with the person that I had a really strong connection with, just like Lindsey, and it's life changing versus just having sex with somebody who you find attractive. Like it's like putting times 10.
Yeah, because there's a connection. There's love. There's more.
It's
know,
more intense. Yeah.
It's the opposite of what I thought would happen, actually.
Really?
For him, yeah. I thought.
He was gonna have sex and just go.
No, I thought he would be like with a lot of people. I thought he would be pursuing many people, and he's just
like a
he's
little
like,
slut. No, I'm
Yeah.
not.
It just whenever it happens, it happens.
I think I got more selective now than I did before.
Yeah.
yeah.
How I'm curious to know, Jonathan, because we're both Latin, and so like, how was this perceived with like your family? And then like we're in Texas, Lindsey. We're in the Bible Belt. We're conservative state. Like how that was perceived by your family
with
too.
With friends, it's been a
Dudes,
plus.
like yeah,
like they
Get
can't
it.
believe it. They're like,
Yeah.
how did you get there?
Yeah.
Teach me.
And my female friends were like, what? What's gonna happen?
That's
be
me.
totally
That's
jealous,
me. Like,
yeah.
oh my gosh,
No,
I'm
I'm
not jealous.
gonna high five you like every time I
As
see
far
you.
as like my siblings, my sister doesn't really judge me. She
Mm-hmm.
has her own perception of how she wants her relationship to be, and I completely respect that. As far as my family, they don't really know much.
Mine don't know it all.
Yeah, they just, but we don't act on it like publicly enough for everybody.
Yeah, that it hasn't gotten to that
'cause
point
it-
where
it
we had
has-
to have
It comes
that
with a lot of
conversation.
stigma and it's taboo. People really, but if somebody asks, I'm more than welcome to like give them my explanation of how I run my relationship.
Yeah. Do you guys have kids? Have any
No.
kids?
No kids.
Is that in the picture or coming soon?
Probably not.
Probably not.
We've talked about it.
We
Yeah.
talked about it, but
Yeah.
There's time. I think our careers are more important for us right now, and we like to try to at least reach the maximum capabilities that we can before we take any steps like that.
Yeah. I think-
polyamory to me is like nothing compared to the fear of having kids. That's
Yeah.
super
Gosh,
scary
I can't
to me.
wait
Yeah.
to have kids.
Yeah. My question was like, how would it change after you guys have kids? Would you stop or would you keep going?
Ideally, I feel like I would really want to be able to be honest with my kids, and if I wanted to keep doing it, just be honest with them. Tell them that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I think honesty is the key to any relationship.
But we don't know until that happens, right?
Right.
Yeah. Like a oops, and then here you
Yeah.
guys have like 3 kids now. You
Yeah.
know? And what do you do?
Triplets in one.
Yeah.
It's just so difficult to have kids nowadays. It's not just like, okay, we're having a baby. You got to think about all the money and
I
time.
mean, yeah,
that are
it's
Oh,
gonna
I
go
thought you were
into it.
like Handmaid's Tale, and I was like, please don't do that.
Yeah. Okay. So Emma, we've learned so much. Do you guys have anything to say to tell our audience about if they're dabbling in it or thinking about it? Like, what would you guys recommend?
I would suggest for them to explore themselves and not feel ashamed of any feelings that they might have, whether they feel like they want to go towards the opposite sex or like multiple people or anything like that. I think as long as they're honest with themselves and honest with anybody else, it will guide them into a good path.
Well said.
I
What
would
about you,
just say
Lindsey?
have fun. Those
Have
rules
fun.
that you think aren't real.
Yeah,
like rules.
Break all the fucking rules, right? Who
We're
cares?
threes.
It's
We
like-
are threes.
No, it's our
we
own
are
lives.
threes. We are threes. We
It's-
have rules
and-
for a reason.
It's you need to explain that. What are 3s?
Oh yeah, so we like to follow rules because it helps our image. This is based on the
Okay,
Enneagram.
hold on. So it's the Enneagram, and it's like a
I
personality
just said
test.
it's based on the Enneagram.
Yeah, and so that's why she keeps saying we're 3s. You guys should take it. It's really cool.
It's
It
really
sounds cool.
long.
It takes like 5 minutes.
No, it doesn't.
When
Don't
you're
lie
drunk,
to
it
them.
takes like when
Yeah,
you're on
that's
shrooms,
true.
it takes
I
like
made
3
So
I
the
seconds.
made
answer is
Zorric
true.
take it. I made
True, false,
Zorric-
true, false, true, false.
I made Zorric take it. Like I peer pressured him.
You did.
Like I always do. With
Yeah.
my counseling tools.
Yeah.
That's how
What-
Lindsay is. She peer pressured me into watching cat videos.
Do you guys have cats?
Yeah.
Uh,
One.
cat.
No dogs, just cats.
My parents have 5 dogs.
Oh
Oh
wow.
wow.
I'm a dog person, so I'm
I'm a cat
adjusting.
person.
Oh.
But I love dogs too.
Okay.
I
You
like
guys
both.
should get a dog, but hey, I'm a dog person, so.
Me too.
Okay, Emma, what did you learn from Jonathan and Lindsay today?
It was just kind of interesting to hear like being like not so much like overwhelmed by the envy and jealousy. It was interesting to like be able to put that past that, because I'm like, I would be like Carrie Underwood, like, you cheat on me, I'm gonna
smash the windows.
I'm gonna take that Louisville Slugger into both headlights.
Whenever you talk about cheating, like, what do you think it's the worst part? Is it the deception, the like not telling you the truth, or the act that gets you jealous?
Tell me when I get cheated on after I get married, because it's dependent on that.
Yeah, I think it goes back to you guys being like truthful and communicating, no lies.
It feels a lot better, trust me. It feels like I got a monkey off my back when I came.
I just feel like that's a little bit deceptive, though, because I feel like as much as we want to say, let's be truthful, let's be honest, like, it's always going to happen. Like, it is in our just human nature. Yeah.
Happen?
Like, it is in our reptile brain that this is going to happen. Like, it's just part of our human being. And so it's just interesting to hear that, like, you have to be honest, which is what I preach. And at the same time, like, I'm very aware that lies will happen.
Let go, Emma.
Let go.
Let it go.
Scientifically,
what's troubling you right
though?
now? Tell us. Where's this anger
Oh
coming
my gosh,
from?
I need to
Bring
get
it.
this neurologist so he can like explain all this crap. Because scientifically, like, we are just wired to lie at times. Not always, but it's gonna happen.
When it's easier than telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scientifically.
It's practice.
Science.
We kind of practiced from the beginning. We told each other we weren't going to cuss at each other. We were going to talk about things. And
When did we say that?
Yeah, see, look, there it goes. Lie.
It wasn't a lie.
Shame.
Maybe,
But the whole honesty thing was definitely like from the beginning. We're just like, if we're going to do this, we just got to tell each other how we feel.
Mm-hmm. I learned that I am from you guys, a very insecure human being. Right, Emma? Because I'm jealous. I don't know. That's just me. So.
Okay, first of all, like, jealousy and envy are natural responses.
They are.
Like, they are. Like, sorry, Jonathan, but like I'm getting a little annoyed because it's like therapeutically, like, I've been to grad school. I have 2 licenses. I'm telling you, like, these are natural emotions. This is kind of like, I think it's a little bit of BS for you to tell me that, like, we're, as humans, like, we're not supposed to have these emotions, because it's our emotions.
he's not saying that.
I'm not saying that I never felt them before. I'm saying in this
He's
particular,
definitely felt it.
Yeah, in this particular that's when the whole ego death came along, and like, you know,
I feel like
I kind of had to tell myself, like, look, if you're doing it, you got to be okay with her doing it. And,
Exactly.
And you just got to put yourself in her shoes, and that's what I did, and it was not easy. I mean, I almost had like a melting point where I was just like,
he was ready to call it all off.
yeah, I was like, but you know, with the partner that we chose for that specific encounter, made it so much easier, because I kind of like bonded with him. Like, we had we understood how we felt about our wives. You know, we kind of shared the same.
With the couple?
The couple.
Correct. Yeah. So once him and I talked, and he told me how much he cared about his wife, and I explained how much I care about my wife. It was like a mutual agreement. Let's be gentle and take care of these ladies, and you know whatnot. Yeah. So that made it so much easier. There was no like, oh, he's gonna try to do something shady. So
there's rules between you two and rules between the couple as well, right? Did you guys have kind of some understanding or explanation on
similar rules? And less like, I wouldn't like nobody to disrespect Lindsey and stuff. So like I said, everything has to be consensual. We have to be honest, and you know.
Okay, I have learned so much, Emma.
Me too.
Yeah, and I think I agree with Lindsey. Like, if you should have fun, you should. For both of you guys, if you maybe are thinking about it, try it. Because why not? Because maybe you'll just keep thinking about it.
You'll learn definitely something from yourself.
Yeah, and if you don't like it,
are you gonna talk to your girlfriend now about having a polyamorous relationship?
No, but I'm just saying, if someone has a thought of doing it, then why not?
And you should talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, explore it, or just the fact, because things sound different when you have them in your head, and once you vocally express them, it could change even how you feel about it.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah, he took a big risk by telling me. I mean,
because you could have lost her.
Yeah.
She could have been like, bye, no, like, hell no, right? Or she could be receptive to it, and you guys get married, right? Whatever. So it can go both ways. Okay.
How are you, Emma?
I'm typing stuff
I
now
don't know
because I want to talk about. I just want to process afterwards. We always talk about it later.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I want to finish my work so that I can play.
Guys, so for everyone listening, I feel like the real show is after we turn off the mics.
Word.
Because like we get kind of, you know, we everyone gets open and free, and because, you know, there's mic now,
Sure.
we're recording. But anyways, did you guys have a good time? You guys
loved
okay?
it,
Okay,
yeah.
great. Yeah.
Had a great time.
I like playing devil's advocate a lot.
Yeah, Emma does.
I know Emma is like, I have a whole thing to research now.
She's like the devil.
First of all, I'm just gonna like continue just like having my impression of like Oberyn Martell and Ilaria Sand from Game of Thrones, and to like what polyamorous
They
relationships
don't watch
are.
Game of Thrones.
Well, that's their fault, not
oh
mine.
my gosh.
Game of Thrones for life.
Okay, fine.
I'm gonna get a I won't ever, but I'll just pretend that I'll get like a Lannister like tiger, like hear me roar.
Did you ever watch House of Cards?
I had to quit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think didn't they have a?
They did.
Weren't they
Oh,
with that
did.
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. That like really caught me off guard, and I was like, what?
When I saw it, I was like, yes, bring it to the
It's
TV.
like it caught me off guard completely because I was not expecting it, and then I was like,
You're probably
and then I was
thinking
like,
that they were cheating first, right?
I couldn't remember because it's been so. I just remember being shocked and texting my friend who like taught me to watch the show, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like what am I watching?" And she's like, "Well, just wait," and I was like, "Okay."
Okay.
Do you know what scene they're talking about?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so thanks for coming on the show. We had a great time.
Thank you.
And for those out there, if you're into it, try it. Anything
Word.
else, Emma? No?
I don't think we have any upcoming events, do we?
No.
No. Lame.
Lame. Maybe
Ah.
next month. We'll see. And we'll invite Lindsey and Jonathan, and you can meet
Sure.
them.
Whenever you guys want.
Cool. All right, everyone. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Date Podcast hosted by Emma and Zorric.